Good afternoon, everyone. We are coming into the closing minutes of the day, and it is the 15th of December. So we have a few more days left here of the year, and let's have a look at these charts and see what's going on. So today we didn't see, we saw an inside day on the S&P 500. So we had prices no higher or no lower than what we saw on Friday. That's why we call it an inside day. We have this 5-day moving average that's continuing to decline here, and it's starting to roll over. We did gap above it this morning, but and I thought it was going to hold, but it sold straight down, and we came into the anchor from this November 21st low, and that's where we found some supply, and it's trying to hold in here, but it is looking quite weak. And with that declining 5-day moving average, that 10-day moving average is also starting to roll over now. We could see a come down to potentially this level down here, down this 20 and 50-day moving average, which is around that 674. If it breaks that 679 level, anticipate we'll probably see it come down to this level in at 674. That's this level right in here. That's the highly likely it's going to end up. We may see a rally up to the 5-day moving average first, but the S&P 500 is holding up a little bit better than some of the other stocks, the other ETFs. AKA, if we look at the NASDAQ, as you can see, it was coming into the closing minutes here. It's starting to get a nice sell-off. We already broke the anchor from this low on Friday, and it's likely we're going to see it come down to this level here at 605. And if the S&P continues to sell off, we'll probably see it come down to that level also. On the declining 5-day moving average, that 50-day moving average and 20-day moving average is also starting to decline. So the NASDAQ is not looking in very good shape here. I would anticipate if you keep an eye on the NQ1 futures overnight, we'll see this potentially start to sell off. Definitely wouldn't be buying anything long right now in the NASDAQ. Each stock on their own merits though, keep that in mind. The semiconductors obviously mainly driven by NVIDIA, and NVIDIA looks like it's trending into a stage 4 decline personally. We're also seeing the SMH come down to that 20-day moving average. 5-day moving average is continuing to decline over the next couple of days, and it will as we start to get into this data up here. As long as we're below this data, that 5-day moving average will continue to decline. That 10-day moving average is also rolling over in similar fashion. And we will probably likely see in the very short future come down to this 350 level and potentially below that. Have a quick look at NVIDIA and what do I mean by going into stage 4. Well, it's clear and obvious here that this was a stage 2. Up to here was a stage 2 rally. This looks like a stage 3 distribution. It tried to break out up here, failed. It pulled back into this potential distribution zone. And it looks highly likely that we're going to break down further based on the fact that on the shorter term time frame we're below that 5-day moving average, and it looks like we're going to continue to undercut these lows here. Highly likely we're going to get a sell-off there quite quickly, and that will also drag the rest of the market down. Russell 2000 holds up a little better. It is broke through the 5-day moving average, which is continuing to rise over the next couple of days. Still above a rising 50 and 20-day moving average, but it's not a buy up here. It needs some time to pull back, consolidate. I would say, give it a day or two. Maybe come down, undercut the month-to-date rolling weighted average price, start to build. And even then, you probably need a little bit more time because you got to wait for this 5-day moving average to kind of roll over and start coming back up the other side. So Russell 2000 broke into all-time highs, seeing some profit taken. Not a big deal. 5-day moving average is starting to decline in the XBI now, but we're still on a massive uptrend above the 20, above the 50. It's taken a little bit of a pause, a little bit of consolidation here after such a big move. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a little bit of profit taken as we start to roll into the general equity markets, looking like they're starting to sell off pretty quickly here. I'll have a quick look at crypto. I'll just do focused on the left hand side here, like I posted on StockTwits. I would expect to potentially come down to the 76 level if we break through the 82 level, undercut this recent low down here from April, which would bring us into about 73,000, and that's likely where we'd probably find some buyers and a bit of a bounce, take those stops out, and then continue onwards from there. Solana, very similar thing. Solana is exactly what I'm looking for. A quick flush down to that $91 mark. which is pretty much the onset of the volume weighted average price from the onset of Solana. Highly likely we'll find some supply there. I'll wait to see if buyers take control at that level, and then basically likely purchase a pretty large quantity of Solana down there at $91 US. I'm not going to bother looking at the Mag 7 today because they're just in a bit of a diabolical mess between them all. A couple ideas to keep an eye on for tomorrow. Monster is doing quite well. It could do it with a pullback down to that 2-day volume weighted average price. I was hoping it would come back today, but ideally we see a bit of a pullback in Monster. Opportunity to buy was probably when it broke above this flat to rise and 5-day moving average just in around here, but keep an eye on Monster as in an uptrend. This MRK, which is Merck & Company, it's got a rise in 20 and 50 200-day moving average. It's a little overextended here, but it has sold off on a shorter term time frame. Something to keep an eye on. 5-day moving average is starting to rise. Ideally, actually, I want to see a pullback down to probably undercut today's volume weighted average price and then go. But American Company's one to keep an eye on. Gap's looking pretty good. Retailers seem to be doing good. Again, above all the moving averages on the daily time frame. Had a nice pattern of lower highs and lower lows here on the 30-minute time frame. Recovered above the 5-day moving average, created a higher high, pulled in, created a higher low. It looks to be tightening up. We've got a rising 5-day moving average now. Ideally tomorrow, maybe we see a pullback to that month-to-date volume weighted average price. That 10-day moving average looks like it's also starting to rise. It might do if it kind of rallies a little bit. This is the 10 days ago, 10 trading sessions ago. Levi also looks like another good potential stock. 50-day moving average is declining though, so be careful of that. It had a nice pullback here at the end of the day. I would say if you're looking to get involved here, I'd probably wait for a pullback to the 5-day moving average and then wait to see if we find some buyers. Another one I was keeping an eye on is this Zurn Water Solutions Corporation. This is, I think this is a commodity. That 50-day moving average is just cut through the 20-day moving average. That 20 starting to rise. We're well above a 200-day moving average. On the short-term time frame, again, pattern of lower highs, lower low, transition potentially to a higher high, pulling in, creating a nice higher low here. So tomorrow, I'd say if you're looking to get potentially involved in this one, you probably wait to see how it opens up. You've got a couple of opportunities for entry. You maybe even just getting above the high of today of 47.57. You could put a pretty tight stop down here at 46.99. If you want to give a bit more room, maybe put it below the 5-day moving average around 46.66. And finally, the other one is this Bosch and Lomb Corporation. This is a health technology company. Again, above all the moving rises, that 200-day moving average is starting to rise over the next couple. Well, it will continue to rise as we start to eat into this data over here. 5-day moving average is just starting to rise. We had it pull up, try to break this high. It's pulled back. It's tightening up. Tomorrow, I would like to see a pullback to that volume weighted average price from today, and then get above today's volume weighted average price, and that's probably where it would be a purchase. Wait to see how the market opens tomorrow though, but that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hopefully you had a good trading day and didn't get cut up too badly. I will see you again tomorrow.